Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Talks at DevBytes, where we dive deep into the minds of innovators shaping the future of technology. So today we have a privilege of hosting Devender Bindal, co-founder and CTO at TrueFan. Uh, it's
Yes,
a company, if I don't know if you remember, wherein a lot of personalized videos and campaigns around personalized videos uh, by Zomato were making their fair share over all the social media. So it's that company which powered that campaign, the technology for that campaign. So we are happy to host you, Devender.
mm,
Thanks
yeah.
for coming.
Hi, Ramesh. Thanks for having me here. Yeah,
So great. So, folks, Devender is essentially has worked at Tower Research and Sprinkler and the like, and his alma mater is IIT Kharagpur, from where he has evolved his career into leading cutting edge AI driven solutions. So, at this point, I would really like you to tell our viewers, Devendra,
yeah.
that how has your career taken you from IIT KGP to TrueFan?
Sure, sure. So, to give you like little bit about background on myself, so I have been born and brought up in Delhi. Okay, so as a typical middle class person, like I also had the aspiration to do like engineering, and then around in like 11th class, I got to know about IIT. So I was very certain I have to like do it, and then by luck, like I ended up joining like IIT Kharagpur Computer Science department. Okay, at that time,
That's not
like
luck, by the way.
that's like lot of luck. You have to be very lucky at that day, right? And then like I was there, I was the average student there in IIT. I was like in my first year, second year. Then third year, I was thinking like I have to like do something next. Then I went for like foreign internships as well. At that time, I got to know like my inclination is not towards like MS or like PhD side. Okay, and then I started following like little bit YC as well. Okay, I got to like somehow landed on those videos. So I thought, okay, after my internship, like I will start building something. So one of my friend, we started building an app for like GRE students. Like, as lot of our friends were preparing for GRE, so we made the app like in next 6 to 8 months, made it live, and it got quickly like it got scaled to like 53,000 people as well. We were earning some revenues from it as well, like till couple of years
From your friends itself.
from from that project. Okay,
Nice.
so then like we thought, okay, we have to learn more things. Okay, so me and my friend working on the side on that, and then I joined like a sprinkler solution. Okay, I worked there for 2 years. So Sprinkler was the first company for me. Like they have made my, so in college you learn like lot of theory stuff, right? Even like lot of practicals are there in KGP as well, but still like it's not equal to like the stack which is required in the like industry as well. So we when we went there in like a Sprinkler, I got to know like lot of like all the like how the architecture work, and the current our architecture is also very similar to that. Okay, and lot of some changes has in there, but yeah, a lot of it's been like influenced by that. So I worked there for 2 years in Sprinkler. Then I thought it's time to migrate. Then I started giving interviews to other company, got selected at Tower, worked there for 2 years, and then me. So I was thinking I have to do something. And then one of my friend is also like looking for it. Is my batchmate, the co-founder right here. So we thought, okay, let's do something. So yeah,
Nice.
so this is how I migrated from Delhi to IIT to TrueFan.
Neat, neat. So, tell me, I mean, which experiences do you think while working at Sprinkler or Tower Research, which kind of shaped your focus towards a video AI-driven video generation?
To be like, to be fair, like we didn't had like that kind of exposure. So in sprinkler, I had exposure. So to give like little bit context about sprinkler is a CXM unified platform. They help big enterprise companies who has like 15 20,000 social media pages across various countries, various social media channels, regional. So like Apple has like this type of. So before sprinkler type companies, they had to manage like individually those pages, right? They have to have people to manage. But sprinkler brought a lot of automation to that. Okay, so
Right.
why the using sprinkler tools, like you can do like automation of all social media websites, all pages by like few people only. Okay, so at the time we had like lot of scaling issues in sprinkler that helped us shape like all the like the backend side of it. So I was a backend engineer there. So and in the tower as well, like we were facing like lot of problem in the backend side, right? How to develop the infra so that like lot of things can be achieved in like is- architecture has to be very scalable. Okay, in the
Mhm.
video side we just started like once we went came into this idea of TrueFan. And in TrueFan as well, like in starting, we had a very different idea. Then it evolved into the AI and then the video bit a lot.
Nice, nice. So effectively, it started. You were thrown into the deep end of the pool, and then you started to learn how to swim.
How to say right, right. Obviously, like in
Nice.
startups, like every day is like that only.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got to learn everything every day.
Yeah.
So that's good. So, what was the biggest challenge that you faced while developing these AI technologies for video production?
Okay. So, like in startups, like every problem which came to like the tech team generally comes from the business side, right? As I'm
Right.
the founder as well here, so we were seeing like initially to give you a little more context. So we started with a product where we did the tie-up with couple of big names in the Bollywood like Ranveer Singh, Kareena Kapoor. We did a contract with them like user will play the quiz, and if a user wins, he will get a chance to get a real video from the celebrity. Okay, so we made this app, we scaled this app, but at the time like we were facing issues because celeb time is not easy to get, right? They were very busy in their schedule, they have like some other commitments as well. So we thought, okay, let's bring something where we have like less dependency on the celebrities and we can help them like multiply their time. That's how like we came into like this side, and then we started mm, finding okay which technology can help us do this thing. Then we started like lot of GitHub repositories, like we fetched, found, played around, we tried to hire engineers like from India, outside India as well. Then we finally like find a technology like which can be helpful, and at that time we started using it in 2021.
Nice. So, quick question there. When you started gathering data,
Hmm.
uh, like you must have approached people for creating training data as well or something.
So training data, yeah. So training data is like India, like you can get it. It's not an like we can have people like as a freelancers as well, right? Or obviously like you can have like your own team as well help you in like generating the training data. So yeah, we had to generate a lot of training data because like our model is you can say like based on GANs, okay, and it requires like good Vizeme data, stable data
Right.
for the training.
So, just to clear for our viewers, basically, we are talking about video content generation over here.
Correct.
Sorry, just a second. There is some camera issue. Just give me a sec.
Yeah, I know issues. So I think
Yeah.
Zegan has asked the comment what type of video is this. So we are talking about like suppose you are an influencer, we take like 10 to 15 minutes of your data and then help you create the content using text to video. So like any text you give, it will be converted to video with good quality lip sync.
Right. So, okay. Sorry about this. The video is, we are just fixing the video meanwhile. So, meanwhile, let's go ahead.
Hmm.
So, So for our viewers, let's first take up a few basic questions here. So how do foundational models like Sora
Okay.
and GAN-based models like Synthesia, how do they differ in creating video content? Or
Okay.
let's
So
let's probably just explain a bit more to our viewers about how what are these different kinds of models maybe.
okay. So there are like different models. Like there is Sora, there is a Runway. Okay. Now there is a Midjourney as well, and a lot of other tools are there. What is like in the like overall like the aim is of every model is to automate the content in a way so that you just have to write the text and the video whatever you want comes out in the best shape possible so that it can be used for the final end purpose. It may be like end purpose could be like running creating a creative ad, creating a movie, or maybe like any reels or any podcast, or it can be like any type of such content. Okay, so this is the aim of all the models. Okay, so while we heavily rely on the lip sync and the audio part, these open source model they can generate end-to-end content. Okay, they can
Okay.
generate content. So suppose like for us like our limitation is like we want to have like a front facing view most of the time where like we are talking, suppose the way we are discussing this can be automated by our technology. But if you want me to like go to airplane, then jump to airplane from a parachute, then land on a like on a street or somewhere, then run like a Pepsi ad you may have seen somewhere, right? That kind of thing cannot be done by us. But Sora, Runway, like these type of models, they are trying to do that because their training data is very different. Their training data is like all the content available in the market, then tagging that data and then running their models based on that. So they are working on those models while we are working on like taking data of like in different languages, different speaker, front facing data so that we can generate the lip sync with the highest quality possible.
Right. So essentially, it's more about when you have a predicted data or a predicted baseline wherein you would want to model perturbations in a
Hmm.
certain sense, right? So, so, so what advancements are being made, to make these AI generated videos more natural?
So I think like the data is so in AI models like for like a very basic thing is like the input should be equal to the output, right? Generally, if you are able to give the input in the best form possible, then the output will be very good, right? And the challenges comes like the input at the runtime. So if the input is the runtime is not even that good, but the base model has seen that kind of footage somewhere. Okay, the base model training mod data has that kind of footage, then it can learn little bit from that, and at the runtime inference can be done.
Okay. So, when we are talking about motion consistency and facial expressions, because that's how the video becomes very synthetic in feel, right? So, how do we, or what ways are being taken in industry to kind of tackle that, or have we reached to a good enough level for that? How does that work?
I think we have not reached a very good level at that. So there are some things like people are doing like maybe that goes on the like a very different sides. Okay, but it is still in progress to be developed. I think it is not solved yet.
Oh, interesting. So then, how are we? So, what is the trick that we use in order to make a video look palatable to a common person's taste, so that they feel that okay, I'm not. Or how would you kind of qualitatively speaking make a video more realistic in feel?
Okay, so what we do, so let me give you like couple of context. Okay, so let me give you like Zomato example only. Okay, so in Zomato, what we did, so we so Zomato on the Mother's Day, Zomato had a feature in their app. Suppose if you're ordering the food, you will have an option to write your mother's name. Okay, and then they will send you a video of like suppose from Vidya Balan or like Kajal Agarwal, the celebrity which we tied up on that day. From there to like you will get a video from there from the Zomato app. And in the back end, what we have done with the shoot with the celebrities. Okay, we asked them to do like a training data content, like 10 to 15-minute content, and then suppose what we were doing, we were changing the mother's name for every user. So
Okay.
suppose if my mother name is Sunita, someone's mother name is Usha, someone else is some other name. So they were so like what we were doing, we were generating like those names and then stitching the video and then sharing with the end user, which brings them the aha moment, right? Because they want the personalization from the celebrity, and if celebrity is taking their mother's name, so mothers are happy. So that's what we tried there. Okay.
Right, right.
So another, so in that case, like you can see, like there is no requirement of like because celebrities they are naturally like very good in giving the input data, right? Now, like to give you another example for hero, suppose, okay. So maybe like you have seen Mirzapur, right? The Munna Bhaiya character played by Devender Sharma, right? So for hero, like we did tie up with him, okay. Then did the shoot for like 10-15 minutes, and then the shoot was done in Hindi, okay. And then what we did, we translated that content to multiple languages, okay, like all the major languages of India, like Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Punjabi, Gujarati, these languages. And then whenever a user is going to like any showroom, okay, in India, he will get a content in his language with his name with the product he is looking for, so it gets like very personalized to the end user. Okay. And as you can see, like the scaling, due to scaling, and the cost is also like in under control, so ROI is increasing for the brands, right?
Right.
That's why like they are like more enabling like using these AI features. So this is what we are doing. We're trying to generate the personalize the content. In the second side, we are trying to create that multilingual content as well. Okay. So these are the two directions like which we are working.
So it kind of raises two interesting questions for us. I'm not sure if, okay. So it seems like something has gone wrong. Let me just reload the page. Please stay tuned. Just a second. It seems the questions, okay. So essentially the questions have suddenly started
Only the
blocking.
questions part, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anyways, it kind of raises two important questions in my head. First is, of course, lip syncing,
Right.
because the lip syncing is essentially going to become the major hurdle for anybody to make it believe that it has been said in the right way, because you have to match a variety of qualitative factors like the tonality, uh, the
Correct. Tonality, energy, all those things has to be measured. Yeah.
right. So please throw some light about it, why it
So
is so important and difficult.
okay, so here, like, what is happening, like, when you do like the audio changes and the video change, you make sure like the audio, so like tonality and the speaker energy, like video is preserved, right? So you have to just change the like the content at that time. So you make sure like the whatever the technology you are using for the audio, it maintains the energy and the words gets changed so that like it, so it doesn't look like you may have seen like some movies where there's a dubbing which is very off than the from the main actor. But here what will happen if you keep like this thing intact, you will ensure that energy and the dubbing is so good so that you will feel okay, this is done by the same, this like the same person is only speaking like the multiple languages.
Okay. Essentially speaking, if okay, so that's one part of it. The second part is essentially uh, how do we kind of what Kshitij was talking about? How when we are talking about scaling, why is this becoming such an important factor? If you
Okay.
can talk more about
Sure, sure. It is like the very important aspect as well. Okay. So you see, like in terms of scaling, before Zomato, we were doing like suppose 1,000 videos in a day. Okay. Literally, like we were doing like 1,000 videos in a day. And when we get to chance to work with Zomato, like their CEO, like Deepinder Goyal, called us, okay, you have to work. Can you work on the skill which we do? And they were asking to do like 5 lakhs videos in a day. Okay, so we had to make infrastructure to go from 1,000 a day to 5 lakh a day, right? And what is the major issue like here is as well, like these are not the machines which we use to generate these videos are GPU based machines. They are not CPU based machines. So in India, like in India or even like everywhere, CPU based machine availability is very high, but GPU based machine availability in real time is not that high. Okay.
Right.
So we thought, okay, before that we were using, let's say 800 machines. Okay. We thought, okay, we will like find the better machine. We will start working with H100 and then we will go along. Then we tried to talk with like every like cloud provider like AWS, Azure, GCP to give us like the machines, maximum machine possible they have on that day. Zomato also helped us like do the same thing. So we worked on that. Then we find out, okay, and parallelly like we scaled this GPU infrastructure to make the machines available, and parallelly we scaled the CPU infrastructure as well with like async async queuing mechanism as well, so that we keep taking the request, and if there is any delay, so we will be able to serve all the videos like in 2 3 minutes only. And in the end, like we delivered almost all the videos. There were only 7 complaints out of 3,54,000 videos
Oh my
which were
goodness, that's
delivered on that day.
insane.
And there was no failure rate. There was like zero fail cases from our end.
Neat, neat. And
Yeah,
that's what is more important, in my opinion, from a marketing perspective.
correct,
That
correct,
if video generation is going at scale, nobody wants that failure rate to pop up anywhere.
correct, correct. And
And
also like they don't want it to get delayed as well. SLA has is also like very important consideration.
right. So, I mean, yeah, that's good. So, another good question that another viewer has asked, that is, uh, like, uh, not face swapping practically, but what are the ethical considerations essentially when you is using AI in this case
I
for
think
lip
like
syncing, so to
whatever
speak.
we do, we take like proper consent from that person. Okay. Other
Right,
than that, like we don't allow anyone to use anything. And once
right.
we are done with the like project, we delete like all the data. So this is
Right.
like we follow. Once we shoot, we tell, we do the
Right, right.
thing
So
what is required,
essentially, to be able to
and then delete
establish,
everything.
right. So essentially, to be able to establish trust, it's all about creating that trusted environment for all your collaborators and partners,
Correct, correct.
wherein you are able to create legal frameworks around it. So that kind of becomes a very, uh, what do you say, corporate kind of structure in a certain sense, so that a proper accountability is maintained.
Yeah, so whatever happens, so like when we take data, all the control is with like few people only, which is part of TrueFan. So
Right,
so
right.
suppose like anyone outside TrueFan will not get access to it. So everything is like
Absolutely.
reviewed, then discussed, then shared.
And
So there
kept in the
nothing
bot,
can
and
go
that
wrong.
kind of becomes your moat as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't. It can. There cannot be an issue at all. So it's like
Absolutely.
100% proof firewall
Right.
system which we have created.
Great. So, um, so coming back to the lip syncing part of it. So, what is the biggest technical hurdle do you think is when it is about? And as far as I understand, you are also doing dubbing, right?
Correct,
Real
correct.
time dubbing for multiple
Not real
languages.
time, but dubbing. Like
Okay, not
like
real time. Okay.
changing. So what we do to give you like little bit business context. So suppose a brand is spending 100 rupees. Okay.
Right.
So they will spend 10 rupees in content generation and 90 rupees they will spend in the distribution of that content. Okay. So what we say to them, and suppose they hire like some celebrity or some like influencer or someone like CXOs or like any kind. So that person will speak in one language mostly, like he will speak maybe like in two languages. But when you're distributing that content, you need multiple languages. India is a multi-language country, right? If
Right.
you keep only one language, then if you go to like some different state, your ROI will not be good, right? So that's what we pitch to them, and so they can improve the behavior of the 90% if they spend this some more money like in 10 out of 10. So this is what happens, and this is the market, like this is the same in like India as well, in a lot of countries in like Europe as well. Europe is also like multilingual. That's the thing.
Right. And I mean, essentially, it kind of starts creating a very difficult problem, right? To be able to train on different languages for different speaking patterns.
Yeah, right.
So, what is the kind of research that you would like to recommend people, the
Okay.
developers who are kind of interested in working along these lines?
So they should like, there are like lot of things getting developed on like a, like you can say on a weekly basis. So like there are a lot of work going on like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, they keep publishing new papers as well. Okay, whatever the work they, in some cases they try to give like some part of source code as well. Okay, so you like some people like who are interested, they should read on the architectures, right? What type of architecture like being used right now? Okay, how is the architecture evolving along the way? And it's better like to keep reading on that subject, so that once they spend like 3 to 6 months on this problem, they can get like some learning out of that, and then they work on it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, so another quick question I had in mind was, how do you go about cost optimization?
So so in India, like you can, in India and like in abroad as well, there is one like saying, every AI company will not be able to survive if they don't do the like cloud optimization, right? Because I can tell you like in one, like 1 2 months in our like journey, we had a bill which was like 15 times more than our average.
Can you share the numbers? I understand. So
so
yeah.
so we like we made some mistakes there, right, on that day, like one few days, and then like the number of machines evolved, and like the how the like spiral loop goes on, it increases your cost a lot. So we have very strict measures, like we monitor our day cost almost on a daily basis. So we have like trigger alerts, like what type of machines like come up, what is the using, what is the efficiency of this machine, how much GPU we are using, how much RAM, how much like space we are using, how much is the data transfer out, how much is the data transfer in. And then in the architecture point of view, we keep reducing this content. Okay, we try to make
So
our
what,
system.
yeah, yeah. So what tool are you using for managing such an elaborate
So there
observability?
are like some tools which are available in the AWS as well. There is the cost optime and all that, which keeps giving you alert. But once you go like little above, you have to develop your own tools. So these are like internal tools only which are developed. So you can say like there are some metrics, like some kind of agent is installed in every machine, which keeps pushing these like alerts to like alerts or like this type of like values to a certain like infra, and that infra keeps collating and creating like, okay, what are the inefficiencies,
So
how those
sort of like
inefficiencies.
node exporter and Grafana.
Grafana, you can say like some basic changes on like Grafana layers, you can say.
Okay, interesting.
Hmm.
So nice, nice. So so again, coming back to the cost considerations and optimizations,
Hmm.
what are so like we talked a couple of minutes back, right? That you would spin up servers uh,
Correct,
at the time of generation. So
correct.
you would be keeping a lot of servers ready
No,
right
no.
there
So
in the cloud. So how does
what,
it
that
work?
is what we have changed. So we make sure we have the demand first, then we will bring the server up. So there is
Okay.
always like a some kind of lag of 1 2 minutes or in some cases like 5 minutes. Okay,
Okay.
depending on what we have discussed
So
with
a
the.
lot like auto scaling setup or a
So auto scaling
predefined.
setup. So there are like two type of auto scaling. First, auto scaling happens like based on the CPU. CPU memory goes up or the RAM usage goes up, then new machines like come up. Okay, that is like
Right.
in CPU machines happen. In the GPU machines, the problem is like one machine can handle suppose two tasks. Okay, or let's say one machine can handle 30 tasks. Once it goes like the 31 tasks, it will impact the performance of all the all the 30 workers which are running. So in that you need
Right.
to have a queue based scaling. Okay, once we have,
Okay.
so you can say like async scaling, or there is a term for it. So what we do, we keep content in queue. Once like certain threshold reach, we increase the number of machine required. Okay, once certain threshold goes down, then we reduce the number of machines, because in GPU machines going up going down is also costly
Yes,
affair,
yes.
right? If machine like comes up in 15 minutes and it goes down in 15 minutes and you just used it for like suppose half an hour, so you reduce the 50% efficiency.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, at most of the cloud providers, you are being charged for an instance hour. And
Instance are
if
right.
the instance is used for less than an hour, you are actually incurring
No,
costs.
no, not
That's
less
the
than
risk.
hour. You can use for less time as well, but it will come up. It will take 5-10 minutes. You have to make sure like the Docker image which you are using is like highly optimized. There is no library which is not used. Can be going downloading is time getting wasted in downloading and some doing some calculation. So it has to be highly optimized Docker image. It has to be very small Docker image so that it comes up. So initially like we were having like you can say like 20-25 minutes to bring up a machine because Docker
Okay.
was very heavy. Then we reduced it. Then the code optimization, whatever is going on, anything like optimize that. Then stitching part optimize. See like if we can do it on like a CPU machine versus everything doing on a GPU machine. Okay. Then stitch back together. Then make sure like we have like the S3 thing. Data is not going in and out a lot. Then make sure we have a queue before spinning up the machine so that the efficiency of the machine. So like if you take like 12, 13 components, keep optimizing all component, and that's how you reduce the cost overall.
Right. So if your undergrad self would have been watching this video and would have thought of that, okay, I should start reading about all of this, what
Correct,
would
correct.
you kind of give that person a starter for, or how to go about it, how to go into the world of video generation? Because it's a very exciting field. It is
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those things which every uh, to be able to work in this domain is almost dream of every CS grad, if I'm not
Correct,
wrong.
correct. Yeah, yeah, we are actually hiring as well for ML engineers. If someone is listening and
It's
have
a
some
good platform to
experience,
have
have some experience, please do apply. So to start with, like as I've said again, like there are a lot of open source, like these big companies, they do research and then they make some part of it available open source as well by in form of research paper, some in form of like GitHub repositories as well. Okay, some part of it. So there are like couple of GitHub repository which people can read a lot. Then they have like Google Colab type of like tools where like it provides GPU as well, so you can try running those like codes on like GitHub to Google Colab, and then see like what response you are getting, and then try to like see, okay, if we try to launch it as a product to the end user. Okay, there like you will see the like the end-to-end journey, what type of use cases are coming, because get started is not that tough in right now. Okay, get
Okay,
started is easy, but solving the problem of like once you reach like above 80% of the users, that is the important thing,
right.
right?
You only find the most difficult problems when you're talking about scale.
Scale.
And
Talking about scale and variety of use cases as well. So because
yes,
like the users will keep pushing you, some has like some restrictions, some other will have a different restriction. That's how you will keep evolving to start something, start writing papers, then launch something, reiterating, and then talking to users. That is how you can evolve.
that's neat. That's neat. So, great. So, anything that you would like to kind of tell to these small startups or organizations who are working in AI video production, then that how can they really keep their costs manageable?
So yeah, the cost I said to you, like the architecture has to be, you should have your own tech team first. You cannot have rely on like external DevOps agency, external developers to help you manage the architecture or like these kind of thing. You should have
Right.
like that architecture person find out all the cost pieces, like which are like find out all the 10 important cost pieces where the cost is going, and then try to solve it backwards, then try to say okay, we have to reach this number, what else, what all we need to reduce. Okay.
Okay.
so, so yeah.
So I think Kshitij here is asking that what is the
Hmm.
minimum time required for one output if you are considering a lip sync based video,
So
I suppose.
correct. So currently like we take around like 90 second to generate a lip sync of like let's say 5 seconds. Okay. So every 5 second takes, and there is a lag of 90 second for us, you can say. So
Okay,
every
okay.
90 second you can generate. It can improve as well. Okay, if you use a higher machine, it can improve. It can go to like
So it is
10 second as well. It is a
right. So it is
function of
always
the it
function
is a
of
function of the
cost versus
machine. Yeah.
complexity, essentially
If you
speaking.
increase, if you want like high, if you're okay with higher cost, you can reduce a lot as well.
So essentially, it will all be dependent on SLA that is required by the client.
That's
Side.
SLA also required. Correct.
Right. So, nice, nice. So I believe because a lot of these questions are not showing up, I believe a lot of questions, we have covered a lot of questions. Let me just quickly check from backstage.
Sure.
Meanwhile, while they are looking for other questions,
Mm.
what, I mean,
So I have read this question from Abhishek. So Abhishek,
mhm.
like what we are seeing the trend in the industry is like the creative person, like the creative person, suppose initially like before this technology, let's say like 2 years back, he was able to generate one video, for example, in like 3 to 4 days, because he had to like find out okay, there is a script first, then there is a voiceover, then there are like some direction. Okay, there's like direction cuts created, then shoot happens, then that data comes, then that person stitches and creates a video like suppose in a week. Right now what we are seeing, like that person only can create like 3 to 4 videos in a week at least. Like so his efficiency has increased a lot. So what we can see is like the it is a moment which is like a geo moment, you can say, like the cost of the data reduces, cost of the data reduces, so consumption of data goes up. So this is the same kind of moment that creative person has been enabled a lot. He can do like he can work at efficiency of like 4x 5x if he knows like how to use this tool.
That's what matters eventually. I mean,
Correct.
the tools are effectively there for you to increase your
Increase
efficiency.
efficiency, right.
And I personally, don't like a lot of negative connotation around every AI tool because I am a techie at the end of
Yeah.
the day. So that I come from that bias. Uh, and I kind of always see everything as a tool.
So if you keep evolving, like learning about it, so obviously like it will be helpful only for
Exactly. And it's more like, you can say the industrial revolution era or maybe the dot-com era,
you. Some
wherein
part of it.
a new technology has been introduced and
Correct.
suddenly everything has been challenged.
Correct.
And I guess that's what everybody is going for. So with this, I guess we'll come to the last segment of our talk, and that is where I would like you to kind of relay some kind of advice for developers who are in early stages of their career or maybe working in AI driven videos or maybe just video generation.
Okay.
What would you like to say to those developers?
So like to like juniors like who are in their initial careers. So to there is not there is a one bad thing like when a developer says I want to have a work life balance. Okay. Why it is not good in the initial years? Because it will slow down your growth, right? Because college can give you only a certain level. Most of the things you will learn when m- more things you will learn in while you are doing the job. And if you try to find a work life balance, then your career will get impacted unless you are like super smart. So most of the people learn on the job only, so it's better to like, if spend your time wisely, right? Don't like spend too much time in like doing things which you don't want to do. Okay, that is the one thing. And specifically someone like who is working in like the AI direction or in the like video generation, generative AI direction, is like keep up with the research. Like try to find like all the like there is like lot of mailers as well which keeps updating you. Like lot of things keeps going on Twitter as well. If you follow the right people, they keep updating, okay, what has new come up. You can read on that first, and as a developer you should try it out. As I have said before, try to find how you can like use Google Colab, or if you have like some Amazon, like you can create a Amazon free scale account as well to find like GPU machines there, try to use them, create something, and then try to have like some user feedback as well on the top of it. This is, I think, the best way to keep learning.
Right. So, if I would probably summarize it, I'd rather kind of put a quote around it. It's essentially to become or to excel at anything, you need to put in 10,000 hours
Hours, correct,
of effort into it.
correct,
So,
correct,
it's
definitely.
better you spend them early on in your career rather than doing it later. Or
Later you cannot do it only.
so, in a way,
Mhm.
theoretically, doing it early on in your career will always help you go ahead faster
Correct, correct.
rather than doing it at a later stage in your career. So, that said, I mean, thanks for
Thank
such a
you.
great advice, Devendra. And this brings us to the end of a fascinating conversation with you. And you are really doing great work, pioneering work here in video generation at scale. You know, and I guess from your inspiring journey, a lot of developers over here would be able to draw certain insights, both on technologies as well as life. So
Yeah.
thanks a lot for that, David.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing me on this call, Ramesh, and the bites.
Right. And thank you, all our listeners, for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe or leave a review or share it with others who are probably working in this domain. And stay curious, stay innovative. Until next time on